So hello. Welcome to the last session of this level English Does Work level 4. So today we're going to complete mentioning something about the difference between a past progressive tense and past simple tense. But before, we are also going to mention, we're going to remind you what you have to do for this last evidence. So this is a video presentation. According to the schedule, we have until the 16th of October to present this activity along with the other three activities: línea de tiempo, foro personaje histórico, and cuestionario. But before, as we have done it before, I want to tell you that I want to remind you that because we are almost finished with this level, we have only 1 week left, a little less than 1 week. It is time for you to enroll to the next level, I mean, level number 5. So I'm going to share with you the steps you are going to follow in order to be able to make the inscription for the next level. Or perhaps if you haven't had time to complete this level, to repeat it. So you're going to find the information in Zajuna. So to log in into Sejuna, I'm going to mention this in Spanish in a moment because I think it's important for you to listen it in Spanish. So you go to Sejuna, you log in with your credentials, I mean your ID number and your password. And once you are in there, you go to your level, English Does Work level 4. Once you are there, you go to Sesiones en línea, Grabaciones, Sesiones en línea, and in here, in session 5, 6, 7, and 8, you're going to find a document called Correo Bolsa Corporativa Cena.doc. When you download it, you're going to find this kind of document, right? This is a Word. So if you want to repeat this level because maybe you couldn't finish it, you're going to copy and paste the link of level 4. However, if you have already completed it and you presented all activities and all of them are graded and you have approved all of them, then we invite you to click to copy this link, English.work level 5 or nivel 5. You copy that link, paste it in a new window, right? And you're going to find something like this, right? After that, steps are very simple because you always have to click in the green button. Inscription, you are part of Sena, you are right. And here it asks you to type a number. The number is going to be this number, 2018-690 for level 5. But if you chose a level 4, for example, you will have to type 2018-687. Or perhaps if one of your friends decided to take course level 1, he or she is going to type this code, this number, and is going to do it with this link. But because I understand you are going to enroll to level 5, we're going to type 2018-690. So 2018-690. After that, we click in next. We type our credentials once again, so our ID number and our password, and then we are going to click in confirmar inscripción. In my case, I'm not going to be able to advance because I am instructor of these levels, therefore I'm not capable to continue with the inscription, but you're going to see after this page, you're going to see a new screen, a new window saying a new message saying that to your mail, their mail you have registered in Sena Sofia. Let's suppose christianfelipe@misena.edu.co. Let's suppose that. You're going to receive the information in order to be able to start next level. So this, when you click in terminar, you're going to find this information. In my case, once again, I'm not able to do it because I'm the instructor. So it says it here. Informa que usted se encuentra vinculado a Sena como instructor. Therefore, I'm not available capable to do that level. So, and that's it. I want to remind you that on the 18th, so next Friday, we're going to start our next level. So you have already completed level 4. Therefore, on the 18th, we are going to start level 5. Okay? So this is something I needed to mention to you. I needed to remind you this because this is a little important in order for you to continue your learning process. Excuse me. Okay, so let's return. According to the learning guide, we are going to present a video presentation, an anecdote. And this anecdote, according to the learning guide, says, realiza una presentación por medio de un video corto, activando su cámara web con el fin de identificar y describir de forma oral cómo eran sus rutinas laborales antes de marzo de 2020, qué hacía, qué actividades llevaba a cabo y que durante la época de distanciamiento social no pudo seguir realizando, utilice todo con el pasado continuo. Pasado progresivo, pasado continuo is exactly the same. So to do that, we are going to answer questions like what were you doing before March 2020? What were you studying? If you were studying, what sports were you playing? What were you working? Where were you working? And so on. So the idea is to complete these questions using specially past continuous tense. So that's why we studied past continuous last time. So what were you doing before March 2020? I was studying my career of engineering in the university, I don't know, ABC in Manizales, let's suppose that, I'm guessing. What activities were you doing? I used to go to the I don't know. I used to play soccer, basketball, and CrossFit, and also I was finishing my I don't know my seventh semester of the university. Let's suppose. Who were you spending your time with? I was spending my time with my couple and especially with my pets. Let's suppose that. What were you doing for fun? I used to go to the cinema and hang out with friends. So this is an example of what you can mention with past continuous tense in this activity, right? So the idea is for you to mention an anecdote using past continuous tense, answering these questions, not only them, but these are some examples. So, so you can be able to present this activity using this tense, okay? Thank you, Learning Guide, so much. Thank you, schedule. Remember that you have until the 16th of October, I mean next Wednesday, I guess. Yes, Wednesday, to complete all the activities because the 17th is not going to be, the platform is not going to be available for you. Okay, so just take that into account. Well, also, we also mentioned that when we are in Zayuna, once we are in Zayuna, we can go to Guía de Aprendizaje. And in Guía de Aprendizaje, we can check the componente formativo, things I was doing before, to complete this last activity. And finally, to present this activity, you can do it in the link video presentation anecdote speaking, and by uploading a video, right, in MP4 extension, or maybe with Canva, the link in Canva, or maybe the link in YouTube. So it depends on you. Also remember that like the other activities from previous levels, level 3, 2, and 1, you presented not only a video, but also the slides of what you were reading, you were talking about. So don't forget to upload that information too. Okay. So once you are in, once you are in video presentation anecdote, I'm going to change the role for a second. You can now upload your information, your document here in Agregar Entrega, and then type the link of the of the presentation, YouTube or Canva, or if you don't have anything online, you can upload the video in here and type in, click in guardar cambios, and that would be all. Okay, so this is it. This is everything you need to know to be able to present this activity. ¿Vale? Okay, thank you, Sayuna, very much. So let's do a recap of what is a past continuous tense. Why do we use this tense? So past continuous tense, also called past progressive tense, it requires two kind of verbs. Requires the verb to be in past, so was or were, depending on the context, and the main verb that is going to be an action verb. Let's remember that we have stative verbs and action verbs. Action verbs because they generate actions, right? They are also called dynamic verbs or movement verbs. So this main verb, is going to be modified by adding ing. With a little more than that, but in general, we just add ing. We also said the past continuous tense is important because, or we use it more precisely, to mention that there are activities, long activities, that are interrupted by another activities. This is the first situation. The second situation, to mention 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, 50 activities that were happening at the same time, obviously in the past, because this is a past continuous. They are in parallel. The third situation, to mention repetition of an activity that lasted for a short period of time in the past, right? So we use this word, we use adverbs like always, constantly, in, and forever to emphasize, because this is the important thing, emphasize that something lasted for a period of time. Not too much, it was a temporary habit. Fourth situation, we want to emphasize once again that something happened in the past, but we are focusing in the time, the duration of the activity. This is the fourth situation. And the fifth situation, why we use past continuous tense, is that is to request something politely. So to do that, we use an adverb called a word called wonder. Me pregunto si, right? This is a very polite request. So this is why we use past continuous tense. And as we mentioned before, we're going to use two verbs. The verb to be on the first hand and the main verb, an action verb on the second hand. So we also said that this is very similar to the present continuous tense, I'm sorry. The only change we have between present continuous tense and past continuous tense is the modification of verb to be, the conjugation of verb to be. Because in present continuous tense, we use am, is, and are. I am reading a book. That's it. But in past continuous tense, we would say I was reading a book, and that would be all. So the difference is in the conjugation of the verb to be, and that's it, nothing else. We don't need to take into account any other thing. The same happens with negative sentences and questions. Once again, the only thing that we modify is the verb to be. In fact, it's very similar to Spanish in terms of organization, because we say in Spanish, yo no estaba escribiendo. I was not writing. We need more context because remember that we use past continuous tense with parallel sentences, parallel activities. Sorry, we use this to this activity when there is one activity that's interrupted by something else. So yo no estaba escribiendo una nota. I was not writing, sorry, a note when somebody rang in on the door, cuando alguien timbró en la puerta. So there is a big activity interrupted by something else. Take into account that once again the organization, the parallel between Spanish and English in past continuous is almost the same. Almost, I mean, in terms of organization. So, and finally, to create questions, once again, if we compare past continuous with present continuous, the organization is exactly the same. The only thing that changes in terms of grammar is the conjugation of verb to be. Additionally, when we compare Spanish with English in terms of organization, we are going to see that the organization is pretty much the same. ¿Estás escuchando música? ¿Estabas escuchando música? Sorry. Were you listening to music? The organization is exactly the same. ¿Estabas escuchando música cuando sucedió, no sé, sucedió el terremoto? When the earthquake happened? I'm sorry, I have been watching some movies of disasters, so that's why I have this in my mind. Okay, but the context is what matters. I mean, what I'm telling you about the parallel between Spanish and English is what matters here, because the organization is pretty much the same. The only thing that changes is the conjugation of the verb to be in terms of present continuous and past continuous. Additionally, we said that there is a short text for you to complete it at home. So this is for you. And the idea is for you to choose the conjugation, the correct conjugation of the verb in here from the options. Why are you asked about that? Why are you asked about that? Why are you asking about that? So you have to choose the conjugation in past continuous tense according to the context, obviously. So this is a short text you can take into account in order for you to better understand this topic. So this is the recap of last sessions. Now we're going to make a quick parallel between past simple and past continuous, and that would be all for today. So in terms of grammar, we already know the grammar, but it's a good idea to remember the grammar, obviously. Let's remember, past simple tense, past simple tense is divided in two. We studied this topic in two different sections, two different parts. The first is the verb to be, right? And on the second hand, we study verbs that could be regular or irregular verbs. Regular verbs, all of them end in ed, called, creative, enjoyed, and so on. Also, we have irregular verbs, and those irregular verbs, we have to remember them. I'm sorry, but we need to memorize them, especially because they are very common in English, especially when we are talking about our daily routines. So, for example, we eat something every day, we drink something every day, wake up, for example, get up, right? It's also a very common verb. Another one is to read, read. So we need to know the conjugation of these irregular verbs. So past simple with verb to be. I was at home. I was not at home. Were you at home? Suppose that. So we use verb to be to talk about feelings, emotions, age, physical appearance, personality, and so on. The same thing we use it in Spanish. And the other verbs obviously depend on the context. So when we compare this grammar with simple present tense, we have already done this. So we are going to see that the only thing that changes with verb to be in terms of present and past is the conjugation. It's not going to be am, is, or are. It's going to be was or were. That's it. And if we compare past simple side B with the present simple side B again, is that we are going to change the auxiliary verb, because it's not going to be do or does. Instead, it's going to be did, because the main verb is going to be in its base form. I mean, without changes, right? Without conjugation in infinitive. That's it. With negative sentences and questions, right? Because in affirmative sentences, once again, we need to remember that we have regular and irregular verbs. So this is past simple. Past continuous is kind of a mix between these two ways to see the past simple tense, because it mixes the verb to be with other verbs, both regular and irregular. And it's once again, it's very similar to Spanish in terms of organization. Or if we compare past continuous tense with present continuous tense, we are going to notice that in terms of grammar, the only thing that changes is the conjugation between of the verb to be, because it's not going to be is, or are. Instead, it's going to be was or were. And that's it. That's everything we need to know about grammar, because we need to remember, because we have already studied this in previous sessions. And also you have the information in Sayora, so you already know that. I'm going to make a parallel between past continuous and past simple in terms of why do we use them? Why are they important? This is the most, I think this is even better. The comparison between these two tenses is even better to understand these two topics. So, past simple and past progressive both talk about activities that were true in the past, that were repeated in the past, right? But what's the difference? The difference is that a simple past tense talk about habits that happened in the past in a long term, for a long period of time. However, past progressive talk about habits in the past, obviously, once again, but were temporary, not for a lot of time. They didn't last forever. Just 3 months, once in a while, just for a period of time. That's it, for a year. So my parents were constantly arguing about money in 2025, in 2016. So that was on that year because I don't know, one of them lost his or her job. So it was a difficult moment in their lives, right? In 2021, let's suppose, with the pandemic. So this is the difference. Simple past tense focuses in activities that lasted for a long period of time, but past progressive, in past progressive, these activities lasted for a short period of time, were temporary. Second situation, second parallel. Past simple describes completed actions in a specific or concrete moment of past. Yesterday, last week, in 2022, right? Something that happened only in that specific moment of time. We are focusing in the action, in the activity, what happened, right? Past continuous instead focuses on the duration of that activity. How long did that activity take to be completed? Let's see some kind of a example. Andrew watched TV yesterday. So what matters here is that he watched TV. But if we use a modification, an adaptation of this sentence with past continuous, we would say Andrew was watching TV for 3 hours. And what matters here is the duration of the activity. 3 hours, 30 minutes, a whole day, and so on. This is the second difference between past simple and past continuous. Third, third parallel. Past simple expresses a series of completed actions in past. So once one activity finishes, starts another one. When the second activity finishes, starts the third one, and so on. Everything in past, right? An activity finished 1 hour ago, and the second activity started as soon as the activity number one was ended. So then the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, everything in past. But past continuous instead is not like a chain, of events that are connected. Instead, all these events happen at the same time. This is the difference. Past simple generates a connection. When the first activity finishes, starts the second. When the second finishes, starts the third, and so on. Past continuous instead says, okay, everything is happening at the same time, or was happening at the same time because we are talking about past. This is the third parallel. The fourth parallel, we can only mention why do we use past continuous, therefore let's go with that. Past continuous is also used to mention an activity that lasted for a period of time because it was interrupted by something else or by something in time. So it's interrupted. This interruption requires the use of past simple. So the big activity, the long activity, the most important activity here is mentioned with past continuous. And the activity that interrupts the big activity, the most important activity, is mentioned with past simple tense. And finally, past continuous is used to make polite requests. So to do that, we need the word wondering. I was wondering, they were wondering, we were wondering if we could use a if you could rent us your swimming pool. Let's suppose that. Because we're asking you to do something for us in a very polite way. So this is why we use simple past tense and past progressive tense. This is the difference between these two tenses. So this is it. I just want to remind you a last one activity, a last one situation is that, and that's that next week we are finishing this level. Therefore, we invite you to enroll to level 5 in English, and that information, as we have mentioned before, is in Zajuna. Okay, so you go to Zajuna. In Zajuna, you open your level. I mean, English as word level 4, and once you are in English as word level 4, you can find the inscription links in sesiones en línea, grabaciones sesiones en línea, and starting from session number 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, you can find a document called Correo Bolsa Corporativa. So once you find this level, this document, once you have downloaded this document, you can copy the link and paste it in a new window. Once you do it, the steps are very simple. You just click in inscription. You check that you are part of SENA. Type a number. This number is for you level 5 2018-690. Click in next. Type your credentials, I mean your ID number and your password, and finally confirmar inscripción. That's it. That's all you need to do to be able to enroll to English as Word Level 5, and we are eager to continue working with you on with the next level, starting on the 18th of this month. So, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of this level, for being part of the Sena family. We wish you an excellent day. We appreciate all your patience, all your support, and for choosing us, Sena Regional Quindío, Sena Agroindustrial, as a center for your training. So we appreciate your confidence in us, and we hope to see you again next time. Okay, so thank you very much, and we wish you an excellent day, an excellent life too. Take care, guys.